Hello there guys and welcome to Daily Updates. Earlier this week, the leader of the Patriotic Alliance, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie, unleashed his full might at a group of young people who own a podcast called ActionSA podcast. Well, the reasoning behind his full might was that the people behind the ActionSA podcast were spewing racism against the colored people. Gayton Mckenzie, as a colored person, took that matter very serious to a point that he went live on Facebook to rant about the issue of these young people spewing racism. Have a look.
We will make an example of them so that they don't do this anymore. If you don't do anything to them, you are destroying them because you're going to make them grow up thinking it's okay to be racist.
Now, Gayton Mckenzie, as a leader, as a businessman, as a politician, a minister, while holding those young people accountable and taking the matter as further as opening charges, he forgot one rule. That is, if you live in a glass house, never throw stones at anyone, because currently, Gayton Mckenzie is in trouble because of the past. In the past, Gayton Mckenzie on Twitter, that is now called X, formerly known as Twitter, he had posts against black people that were really offensive. Now, after Gayton Mckenzie taking center stage against those young people owning the ActionSA podcast, people decided to really dig deeper into the history of Gayton Mckenzie to say, okay, it's fine. These people are being racist and you are holding them accountable as a minister. But the way you are taking this matter, we really need to look back at the history of Gayton to see, are you really a racist person, or really by focusing on this matter of these young people, you are a good person who really has no history of being racist? Well, I would like to take a trip back with you guys to look at the tweets that were posted by Gayton Mckenzie, that the so-called racist tweets that people digged and brought to light because they want to say to Gayton, yes, you want to hold the kids accountable, but what about you? So I want us to look at those posts and also focus on a very interesting thing, because the parties like EFF, ActionSA and ATM Vuyozungula, they are saying that there must be accountability for the actions of Gayton Mckenzie, and one of the accountability is remove Gayton Mckenzie as a minister. So basically, if we look through the tweets of Gayton Mckenzie, from 2015, you have 2011, you have 2017, 2013, 2015 again. So what the user did was that to go to Gayton Mckenzie's profile and just click kafir, which is a very offensive slur in South Africa. If you call someone a kafir, you could even be arrested for that because it is a very racial slur. So basically, on the 18th of August 2015, Gayton said that words like tenderpreneur and black diamond basically just describe you as a better kafir. And again, there was one 2011 12:30. There was a user, Shakir, who said that when we colors say kafir is the same as when we call other colors bushi or Indians coolie, purely descriptive. Well, Gayton Mckenzie replied by saying bullshit. And you go further in 2017, on the 3rd of August, Gayton said that words like black diamond basically means you were better kafir. Stop naming and giving nonsensical titles to blacks. Again, 2013, on the 30th of June, he said that a kafir's sole ambition is to collect a certain number of cattle to buy a wife with, and then pass his life in indolence and nakedness, from Gandhi. Also, the 18th of April 2015, he said, we should also be honest about the fact that our foreign brothers and sisters have become the new kafir for some white business owners. Lastly, the word Zuma replaced the word kafir. Criticism has reached racist levels, hard to distinguish between constructive and malicious critique. Well, those are the words of the current Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture. Of course, people can say, well, it used to be his views. Now they are not his views. Really? A racist can change and not be a racist. I mean, I'm not really doing this to defend the people of ActionSA podcast. I'm not, and I would never really defend them. But can a racist erase the racism and reform and become a new man, and then go and really chase after another racist? That is Gayton Mckenzie in this predicament. He used to have those racist messages and views about black people. We've never seen that because he had to reform, form a party, and then become a politician. Since becoming a politician, we have seen that he's a minister, and now there are these young people who decided to become racist, which I think there should be accountability. But after that, do we really have to say because he used to be a racist and now is calling out racist, then he's a good man? Or must we say once a racist, always a racist? That is a very important question, because as a minister, we cannot go and look back at your history and see things that we don't like. For example, there's a guy called Renaldo Gous of the Democratic Alliance. That guy was in parliament. Last year, 2024, he was a member of parliament. And they digged his content that is racist. And the DA removed him because they knew that once a racist, always a racist. They removed the man, but now here we have a minister, a whole minister in the cabinet of Ramaphosa. He had those racist views. Now, since he had that, can we say that he's reformed? He's a colored, he cannot be racist to black people. Can we really say that? But I would like you to hold on to that as we look at the political parties and their call for Gayton Mckenzie to be removed as the minister in the cabinet of the GNU. So basically, as people are up in arms against Gayton Mckenzie, some of the politicians decided that we are going to take this matter very serious. One of those is Vuyo Zungula of the ATM, and he said that, in summary, I have formally lodged a complaint with the presidency, parliament, and the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Ethics against Minister Gayton Mckenzie for tweets containing racial slurs against black South Africans. Racism in any form or from anyone has no place in our country. We demand accountability. On the other hand, the EFF says that this man must be removed as a minister. Well, a summary says the EFF statement calling for the immediate removal of Gayton Mckenzie as Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture for his history of hateful racist remarks. It is also the height of hypocrisy for Mckenzie to demand accountability from others when he himself harbors the same hateful attitudes. Recently, when podcasters on Open Chats made offensive remarks about colored people, calling them insensuous and crazy, Mckenzie expressed outrage, opened a case against them, and demanded a public apology. While he has the right to be offended by prejudice directed at his community, this double standard strips him of any moral or ethical standing to lead on issues of non-racialism and social cohesion. The ActionSA then said, racism and the dehumanization of any person have no place in South Africa. We have reported Minister Gayton Mckenzie to the South African Human Rights Commission for repeatedly using hateful apartheid-era slurs to degrade and dehumanize black South Africans. Well, as you can see, political parties, well, many are coming, and very influential people are really calling Gayton Mckenzie for being two-faced. Here you are saying, well, I'm opening a case, we need to really teach these boys a lesson, these boys and girls, and on the other hand, you forgot to delete your history. Are you really racist, Mr. Gayton Mckenzie? Can you lead something that is very important to the togetherness of South Africans, that is sports, arts and culture? If you have a history of being racist, can you then lead the people that you say that this is where we have to come together? Absolutely not. Then what happens if we are saying absolutely not? Do we remove Gayton as a minister because we don't trust him due to his history of being racist? Do we say we forgive you, you are a changed man because now you are a politician? Well, according to me, whatever that happens, Gayton Mckenzie need to be taught a lesson also. Lesson and fundamentals in being a minister and also in being an accountable person. If you really are the person behind those racist remarks, then my minister, you probably should not be a minister. You should be reshuffled and go and reform properly, because what is done on the left should also be done on the right. I'm talking about someone who's now a YouTuber but was a member of parliament, Ronaldo Gous. If they made example about Ronaldo, why not Gayton? So Minister Ramaphosa, if he really wants to get someone from the Patriotic Alliance, he should start looking now, because the current leader is not fit to be leading the so-called people of South Africa that should come together, cohesion, that should really come as a national builder, while on the other hand, he has offensive views against the so-called black people. In conclusion, there is no place for racism. It can be those young people who own Open Chess podcast. There is no place for it. There's no place for it when you are that lady called Vicky, when you are Gayton Mckenzie, or when you are just an ordinary person in the country. There can never be a place for it. The only thing that needs to happen is that each and every time we see racism, we should really destroy it. But how can we destroy it when the so-called leaders are the ones behind it? That is a question for you, South Africans. Do you forgive him? Do you want him to be given a chance, or must the man move? At the end of the day, the choice is yours. Thank you for tuning into the channel, guys, and continuing to really support and become subscribers. And I think one of the best way to really support us is to join our membership at just $5.99, very cheap. And also you can buy some of our merchandise, which will help us to continue growing. Until next time, guys. Cheers.